Facebook, YouTube, Fuck Your Scenes, Band Rescue, and the various sites I might end up on. This is Ken Spanigan, and I'm at Scream the Prayer tour with Leroy from War of Ages. So I want you to introduce yourself, tell us a little about y'all.
Well, I'm Leroy from War of Ages, and I sing, scream, whatever you want to call it, for War of Ages. Enough said.
So how'd your band first get started?
We started, I would say, like 94. We all worked at Walmart. So we got together, formed a band called Point Zero, and because that was a Walmart clothing line. And we all worked there. It sounded good at the time. Then it started getting a little more serious, so we decided to change the name to something more like we were writing and a serious approach instead of so like, oh, this is a great clothing line, let's do it. So we changed the name to War of Ages.
Awesome. I knew y'all had some history before you changed to War of Ages. Never knew y'all were that old.
Yeah, what? No, I'm just kidding. It's like that old. I'm like, you don't know me, son.
You the band.
No, I get it. Yeah, we're old.
Didn't know y'all had that much history.
Yeah,
that way.
I got you.
So, how'd you put the next name, War of Ages?
Well, in a nutshell, it's like we are a Christian band, and in the beginning of War of Ages, or in the beginning of yourself, you know, you're born of the flesh, and then after that, and you accept Christ into your heart, the Spirit enters, and then it's that battle of flesh and spirit. I mean, you're a creature of habit, so you spend most of your life, you know, living for yourself and whatever you want to do on your terms. But then when you enter into that spirit world, you know, the spirit comes in and it battles that flesh every day, and you want to live no longer for yourself, but for, you know, Christ, the higher power.
Exactly.
So yeah, so it's that whole battle between spirit and flesh. That's the war, son. It's the war, right?
What's the war?
You're gonna have some music playing in this, so like whenever I go, that's the war, son, then
I think I can handle that.
okay.
I like
I'll try to put that together.
Yeah, just like I like that break. Steve, get the computer. Let's chug that out.
There's the amp. I got an amp.
I'm getting it right now. I'm getting it.
So, see, as I'm doing the interview, you just plug into that amp and then you just start playing solos. You know, that I was feeling like. And then I started getting angry, and then I start moving like this, throwing bows.
So funny.
Anyway.
So y'all first get hooked up with Strike First Records and eventually Face Down.
Well, Strike First was kind of a funny little thing. We played with a friend's band named Jesus Wept, and the singer of that band was good friends with Jason, because I guess they had done other bands together and stuff, and they've known each other for years. So with that, Jason, they reached out to Jason. They go, so how would you like to be on Face Down Records? We're like, that would be pretty brutal. And the funny thing is like at that same show that Face Down or Strike First was looking at us, so was Solid State. Like they both came to that show, and you know, so it was kind of interesting. But we ended up going with Strike First. We just felt more comfortable.
Yeah.
We thought we were a young band. That was awesome.
Never anybody hear that much.
So yeah, we where the heck was I? All right, we signed to Strike First. We just felt more comfortable with that decision rather than we were young, and we didn't know exactly what we wanted to do or anything about the music scene. So other than playing local shows, so we just signed with what we felt comfortable with. It wasn't as much of a jump to us, and we weren't into the whole like, we're gonna be in the biggest label in the world and just sign your life away. You know, we just were like, this one's 2 pages long, this one's 60. You know, I can't read good, so I was like the 2-page one. So I can't read good.
Names.
Awesome.
Names.
So, not exactly new, but why don't you tell us a little bit about y'all's last record?
Last record was self-produced by yours truly.
Really?
Yeah, I did it all. You know, I did all the guitar solos. It's on, right? I did all like the screaming and singing. I did no, I'm just kidding. All right, no, we as a band produced it ourselves, and we originally wanted Tim to do it, but it just time-wise, he was touring, and we couldn't have him do it, and we felt comfortable enough to do it ourselves. So we did it, and we reached out to a few of our friends, one of them being Tim, because he was in town for a couple of days. We're like, hey, dude, we did it in his studio, so we're like, come down here and do a vocal part real quick. So he did it, and that was cool, and then his bass player lives where the studio was, so he did a vocal part of on the album, which originally I wanted, I wrote it for, I think his name, he sings for Ignite, and I think now Pennywise, but he was like, has a higher voice, and I wrote it,
Cool.
yeah, I originally wrote it for him, but he wasn't available, and then Sonny from POD, so I had Sonny come in and do it, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, what was it like working with him?
It was very easy. It was very. What are you doing, dude? I'm trying to interview over here.
Out of the band.
Yeah.
Out of the band.
Yeah, go to the back. Go get in the bunk.
Get out of here.
So Sonny was really cool. I met him at Cornerstone, and I asked him. I mean, I've been a fan of his for years, and ever since Snuff the Punk, you know, like their first album, and I just asked him. I said, "Would you be willing to sing on our album?" And he goes, "Sure, man." And I'm just thinking, yeah, I've said sure before too, and it just never works out. You know, but he actually did it. Like, he actually, like, did everything. He first recorded it in his home studio, and then his like, nephew or something lost the tracks, and then he re-recorded it again, like, as he was coming, like, he came home from his daughter's, like, or son or daughter's, like, Christmas thing. He, like, recorded it again. Wow. So he was, like, all about it. So it was pretty cool, and he was really legit, dude. And it sounds awesome,
Yeah,
I think.
it does.
Fits well, surprisingly.
Well, I wish I had one on hand. We always have these really awesome album covers, so how much thought goes into those?
Lots. Davey sits and works on those things. He does a number of the bands on Face Down, a number of bands in general, but he has these ideas, and then he just works on it. I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with like the way like those programs work, but you have like different levels of like, I guess you can call, I don't know the technical terms because I don't know anything about it, but I know that there's different layers and stuff, and he's got multiple detailed layers that go into those album covers.
I know it takes forever just to make a tour flyer, so I bet that takes ridiculous.
Yeah, he literally tells me sometimes it takes like half a month and stuff.
Wow.
You know, and you know, it takes a while of just detail and stuff, especially Eternal album. I mean, all the albums are great, but the Eternal album is like super finite, you know, just detailed in like the sheet, the helmet, and curves and everything. So cool.